Idaho, the college murders, revealing that one of the surviving roommates, Dylan, called saying she was scared and asking them to come over.
When Dylan had called, I didn't think it was urgent. When we got there, Dylan and Bethany had exited the house. They frightened, just kind of like just hands on their mouth, like I don't know anything. I set foot in the house and immediately Hunter was like, "Get out! Somebody call 911."
Johnson was the first to realize they were in a crime scene. You can hear him on the 911 call, ushering everyone outside.
Yeah, okay.
Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist and a licensed mental health counselor. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the contents in this channel. This is the case of the Idaho 4. May the 4 victims rest in peace. Condolence to their families. May the correct justice be served. May God Almighty protect their families. With all these body cams coming out, it must be really heartbreaking, traumatizing for the poor parents, families, loved ones of Zana, Ethan, Maddie, and Katie to relive this trauma. My heart goes out to them. My subscribers know that I always say condolence to the families and may the 4 victims rest in peace, because at times we forget that these are human beings. These were people's loved ones. It's a holiday season. I can imagine how these poor families feel. Losing their children at such a young age when life should have just began, not ended for them. We are still seeking for the correct justice. Whether BK took a plea deal or not, I want the correct justice, correct people to be held accountable for the evil acts. Otherwise, other young adults, his life will be in danger. Other parents could lose their children. In counseling, we work with preventing is a very important word. We try to help people to rehabilitate themselves with the issues so that things don't repeat as a pattern. Apologize. When you have people getting away with antisocial personality disorder or psychopathic, sociopathic behavior, then society is in trouble. People are in trouble. I still believe that these crimes were done by more than one person. Suspects, occupants, is what the police were searching for from day one. It's nice to see that the direction I was heading to, in my opinion, especially hearing it from my subscribers in the comment channel, is quite correct. We always started by saying that this had to be 2 separate incidents. Started saying that early on in the case. The reason I noticed that is because nobody can give us a correct timeline for Zana and Ethan. How is that possible? I'm sure there were over 100 people at the Sigma Chi fraternity party that night. A call was made from the Sigma Chi at 3:01, not 3 a.m., 3:01. We've never heard of that. They just registered it as the Bandfield call. But there wasn't a call for the 3 boys. The police just stopped them. There was a call from Sigma Key. Now that the body cams has come out, shout out to Jules. You can watch the whole body cam at Jules True Crimes channel. Like, subscribe to her. She does excellent work with the reports. I have already managed to connect 2 incidents of the body cam. 2 incidents from the body cam. If you go back to my last 2 clips, you will see what was happening at 2:26 to 2:42. You can clearly see around that timing is when the people at the grub truck was calling out Zan and Ethan's name. So something had to be going on, like I've always said. The pictures Joe Vito was watching and the pictures that you are seeing Saeed watching at Bandfield is related to what was happening to Ethan and Zan. In my opinion, the Joe Vito pictures, Hayden, all the people at the grub truck, Molly Gray, Liz Catovage, all of them were watching something that looked like a crime scene. I always showed you all the pictures, whether they're blurry or not. You can see it's a girl with long black hair. And that looks like Zana. You can see a boy who has plenty of wavy hair, black hair, and that's Ethan. In my opinion, allegedly. But what Saeed was watching at Bandfield, I must have seen it in other channels that are just plucking it from my channel, is Kaylee in the sitting position. And that is important. That's always been extremely important for me. I worked so hard on the Bandfield and body cam, especially the first 2 years of this case, because I always personally believe that the secrets to this case lie at the Corner Club, Bandfield, and the grub truck. When this body cam came out, these last 2 days, I've been focusing on finding something. It's the timeline at 2:55 and 15 seconds. In fact, it goes to 2:55 and 19 seconds on the 11:22 body cam, the neighbor's body cam. I've spoken about this plenty of times, and I'm glad I've spoken about this clip from Chris McDonough, the interview room. I always give credit where it's due. Chris is a former detective. He worked 31 years at San Diego Police Force. So he's a very experienced detective. He's the founder and director of the Cold Case Unit. And he has a big YouTube channel. When Chris spoke about this, I found it to be really important and interesting, because when somebody has the background and experience of being a detective and a founder of Cold Case Unit, they know what they're looking for. He started as a police officer, so he knows what body cams are about. He knows what he's supposed to listen for. And he said immediately when he heard this, if this was me, I would have told the officers, bag this and put it in as evidence. At 2:55 and 15 seconds, right up to 22 seconds or 19 seconds, just a couple of 3-4 seconds, you will hear a female yelling, "Stop it! Stop!" 2:55 and 16 seconds is written here. But when I compared it to the new body cam from the neighbors, I hear it at exactly 2:19. Just a matter of 3 seconds. But I have to inform you all clearly that you have to wear a headset or you have to be too close to your device. You can actually hear it without a headset. But it's easier for me to hear it because I knew what I was searching for. If you wear a headset, you'll hear it loud and clear. It seems like the struggle is going on and you hear a female saying, "Stop it! Stop!" So I personally am satisfied that I found that, because when I connect it to what Chris McDonough from the interview room was talking about, and this was heard on both the officers' body cam on Bandfield. This is when the officer is talking to Saeed Ali Sheikh. You can hear clearly what the officer is hearing. "Stop it! Stop!" Many people were passing it away by saying it could have been anyone walking around the field. It could have been a girl just play fighting and yet, "Oh, stop it, stop." No. I always found that to be concerning, because we were always told that unalivings happen between 3 to 4. And then you have a female yelling, "Stop it, stop." That is a red flag. That's a concern. So let me play what Steve has to say first. Sorry, not Steve. Chris McDonough has to say. I apologize.
55 and 16 seconds. And I did a bunch of replays here. And this microphone is facing the house on that body camera. Okay? Tell me what you hear.
And driver's license? I don't have it. In general. Awesome birthday. Yeah, I love you.
I've listened to this thing 1,000 times. I'm going to submit to you, somebody is saying, "Stop." Now, who that is, I have no idea. But as an investigator, if I was on this case, I would say, what am I hearing here, and isolate this audio. Okay, very carefully. Listen to it again on replay.
You have driver's license? I don't have it. In general. Awesome birthday. Yeah, lucky birthday. You have driver's license? I don't have it. Lucky birthday. You have
on replay.
birthday. You have driver's license? I don't have it. In general. Awesome birthday. Yeah, lucky birthday. You have driver's license? I don't have it. In general. Awesome birthday. Yeah, lucky birthday. You have driver's license? I don't have it.
Okay, now this one is the other officer who is writing a ticket, and it's a little bit further up at about 312.45, where I saw some things where people were saying, yeah, there's somebody else yelling in that. I don't think so. I think it's the officer ripping his ticket and handing it to the individual. I blurred them out because they were all juveniles. Okay? So you're going to just hear a click, and that is not somebody in the background, okay? i.e. a person. It is a ticket book. Right there. Right there. Okay, now, this is the other video, or excuse me, the other camera on the other officers who's up by, now facing towards the house again. at also 02:55:16. And this is what I think I hear.
Yeah. 19. Yep. Okay, there is.
Right there. Right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
19. Yep. Okay. Yeah. 19. Yep. Okay.
So this was at 2:55 and 16 seconds. Stop it, stop. A female is yelling. We can hear it on both the undercover officers' is body cam. Clearly. Now, let's go back and compare this to the neighbor's body cam. You can see it's 2:55 and 1 second. I think I heard it at 2:55 and 19 seconds. It's just a couple of seconds difference, but we'll start from 2:54 or 2:55. Pay close attention because it's clearer on the police officer's body cam. Both the officers. One of the officers, the second officer, is much more clearer because he's facing the house and they're at the Bandfield. But you hear it clearly on both the officers. Now let's see. You'll hear it now, but it is much dimmer. You just hear, stop it, stop. It goes very quickly. You'll have to keep on repeating it. But that clearly proves to me once again that we were correct on what we are hearing at Bandfield. That's the reason I always believed Bandfield is extremely important. And yesterday, I made another clip. If you'll go back and check, I compared what was happening when the figures were running at 312, and I think the figures clearly came from 1122 King Road. Because you can literally hearing a struggle. This can't, in my opinion, just all be a coincidence. When I'm told not to look at something, I have the habit of looking at it deeper. I don't like to be told, no, there's nothing to look at there. That is why we should be aware. When we are told there's nothing there, awareness, be aware. Because nothing in this case makes sense because everyone is lying, in my opinion. So let's hear this. Stop it, stop. I'll repeat it a couple of times so that you can hear it. It's at 2:55 and 19 seconds. Stop it, stop. I don't know why, it just sounds to me like that was Maddie, or it could have been Kaylee. The reason I've always said that is because I believe Zana and Ethan were attacked at 2:26, trigger warning. And we can hear the commotion started around those times, if not earlier. And pay attention to what's going on at the grub truck. It'll make sense. Can you stop it, stop? The female seems like she's in a struggle. It could have been Zana. It could have been Ethan. Sorry, Maddie or Kaylee? Because that is clearly a female yelling. Stop it, stop. It always sounded like somebody who wasn't play fighting or joking around. It sounded like somebody was literally saying, get off me, stop it, stop. Is DM trying to tell her she did not hear the struggles going on, the yelling going on, the cry for help going on? Is the neighbors trying to tell us they couldn't hear the dogs or the dog barking, the man yelling, people struggling, people gasping for their breath? Are we supposed to really believe that? Let me know what y'all think about this. And I really want this to be exposed. All these things need to be exposed. They need to stop it, stop. Like one of the females yelled. Stop it and stop these lies. None of these lies are making sense because the surviving roommates are not coming up front. Hunter needs to explain himself. Where was he between 3 to 5 a.m.? Why wasn't there a follow-up interview taken of Hunter? I heard it was Jack Decoy's car that was driving around. Wasn't that the time allegedly Maddie and Kaylee were calling him on FaceTime? His own professor was concerned for him due to the breakup of Kaylee. That's written in the reports. Red liquid, 5 to 6 drops were found in his house. Bullet drops were found in his house. That is the police's reports. That is not me just saying that. That is not a speculation. My only speculation is I can see that there's something up with his inflamed face and his inflamed fingers and the Band-Aid on his finger. Why would someone need to get a lawyer in the middle of the interview? Why is Jack D lying about his timeline? I keep on repeating this because this is important. We all know once somebody lies on their timeline, there should be follow-up investigations done. They should have handed Jack D over and Jack Showalter and Hunter over to the FBI for further investigation. Please like, share, and subscribe. May these 4 precious victims rest in peace. Hopefully, someday the correct justice will be served. No child of God deserves this kind of treatment. They ganged up on these children. They backdoored these children. And I still believe it was the fraternities and college students involved. They could have been a bit local rock dealers around, like Demetrius and Emma Bailey. I have spoken so many times about Hudson Lindo, Hannah Clee, and especially Caden Young. Caden Young was a journalist student. Did they silence him? He OD'd or something laced with fentanyl. Was he going to snitch on them? And Caden Young wasn't from the Sigma Chi fraternity. He was from Alpha Kappa Lambda fraternity. He was, in fact, their former president. And guess who else comes from Alpha Kappa Lambda? Saeed was previously in that fraternity. And so were the 3 boys, Ethan Knight, Taylor Parkhill, and Peter Reagan. Peter Reagan had a swollen, huge bump on his head. The Bandfield boys could have been involved with Zan and Ethan. I've always said that. And when I look at the timelines and this body cam, I believe the figures that were running came from the house at 3:12. So I think they had something to do with Maddie and Kaylee. Just like I've said from the beginning, and I believe the Bandfield boys had something to do with Zan and Ethan. This is all my thoughts, my speculations, and my opinions only, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe.